Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor to the Quincy Howard, Shimmy Hawashai, by Shimmer Kakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, broad, looking up the standard of Yahweh by Shimmy Hawashai, wherever you be. This is an article from Yahoo Finance. It says Bill Ackman, Fed won't meet inflation goal without deep job-destroying recession. All right. As you notice, they've been trying to so-called fight inflation by raising interest rates on Fed prices. Okay, meaning that they're going up on particular venues like taxes and on the money. You know, the percentages you pay on a dollar is getting more and more. Like I went to the store the other day and bought some things, and it was like a 10% tax increase. Not a 10% tax increase, but it was like 10.337 or something like that, and that's pretty high for Missouri. All right, so with that being said, they're claiming that that's the goal to boost back the economy morale, but in reality of it is they're actually trying to collapse the dollar because they're bringing in this new this new CBDC system, this new digital system that we've been speaking about for some time, okay, which will bring in the MOTB, which we know as the CHIP. That being said, I got just a couple of precepts lined up, nothing too deep, but just blowing the trumpet on this because this is something that we need to be made well aware of, that the Most High is getting ready to bring a halt to the society, as people are unexpectedly going into this new year, so-called 2023. Next year, we expect inflation to increase. We expect job losses to increase. We expect more hell to break loose on the planet Earth, because every year the Lord turns it up, so to speak. So 2022 came in with a bang, going out with a bang. 2023, Lord's will have more to offer. All right. So it says hedge fund manager Bill Ackman believes the Federal Reserve's 2% inflation target is unattainable without severe pain for the economy. It says the Pershing Square Capital founder and CEO said in a tweet Wednesday, it could take a deep job-destroying recession. See, there go your mass layoffs. Like a lot of these companies, they advertise, we don't lay off. We haven't laid off in the last 20, 30 years, but that's getting ready to change. Like the company I work for, everybody was bragging on how it was recession-proof and how they don't lay off X, Y, and Z, but that's getting ready to change here very soon. Because they deal with seniority there anyway. So when the economy and the ties and the municipality funds get cut, then there ain't gonna be no work for our particular field, because for one thing, if the city is not getting budget cuts, then the city pays our salary, then it ain't gonna be looking too good for municipality work. Which, if anything, before the city lays off, they're gonna start laying off contractors, because that's where the majority of their money go. It's to contracting and subcontracting, which you may pay a contractor. Let's say if you say, look, I got a $60 million project. We're going to pay you guys that, but you subcontract and they subcontract, and then, you split the money that way. And we get what we get on the returns. That's getting ready to end, But it says, even if it gets back to 2%, it won't remain stable for the long term. Ackman said after the Fed's latest rate hike, also according to the target, was no longer credible. It says accepting 3% plus or negative, minus plus or minus inflation is a better strategy for a strong economy and job growth over the long term. That's in fact not true, okay? Because you have higher taxes, you have higher interest rates, then people that's working, they're not going to bring in the said profits that they once brought in, because things are being cut short and dry. You see, so it's all folly, it's all a farce. But it says the Fed raised interest rates by 0.5 percentage to point a range of 4.25% to 4.5% on Wednesday. The seventh and final time monetary policy makers have lifted their benchmark policy rate in 2022. It says the cumulative 4.25 increase in interest rates this year marked the most since 1980, right? About the year 1980, that's when we had one of the times of mass inflation outside of the Great Depression. You can look it up. But it says, following the decision, the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, which is simple-minded Jake, don't really know a damn. He don't know what's happening. He's basically going off a teleprompter, and he's falsified numbers they put in front of him, and he's basically the lackey that they set up in front of the TV to give you people hope. But regardless, this guy Jerome Powell, he don't know a damn thing. All right, he don't understand finances and economics. He don't. He don't. He just a face of the corporation, so to speak. But it says, said further hikes will likely coming in the new year, emphasizing the central bank will proceed with tightening financial conditions as long as needed to help its inflation go. But it's so weird though? They're doing all this, but yeah, you people are going to still be subjected to taxes. You're still going to be subjected to audits under Title 4D. You're still going to be accepted to financial burdens here in America. So all this, we're raising the interest rate. We're pulling back on jobs from sectors that's not very profitable. It's not going to do you any good because it's all to oppress the people. It's all draconianism at the end of the day. But it says changing our inflation goal is just something It says something we're not thinking about. It is not something we're going to think about, Powell said during a press conference, which reporters Wednesday afternoon said this isn't the time to be thinking about that. So, yeah, it's a big division here, man. Big division. I'm not going to read all of it. I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory. It says annual inflation rate drops to 7.1%. U.S. Consumer Price Index year-over-year change since 1970. And here, if you pay attention, they go into 5-year increments from 1970, 75, 80, 85, etc. Like when you got the line here to 80, that's when inflation was at an all-time high. And then you got 2020, but you notice they didn't put 2022, which pretty much is on par with 1980. That's why they said that it's 1984, all over again. You see, but anyway, let's get a couple precepts here. Jake ain't feeling too good. I got a fucking stomach bug. Even though, it is what it is. I think I drunk some bad probiotics, man. Fucked me up for a whole day. So we're gonna get straight to the point. So let's go to Isaiah 19. And I'm gonna start at verses and this is gonna cause civil unrest, civil war. Civil unrest, invading one another, martial law. Because when you have a society that breaks down in the midst of financial instability, that's when people really starts to lose it. That's why when the coming transfer of currency or transfer of wealth, when this current system goes out and they come in with the digital system, a lot of people, a lot of business owners, a lot of business investors, they're going to lose a lot on their returns because your money is going to be controlled, so to speak. When you're up to digital currency and the Fed, they're going to control your money and your finances and your wealth. So you have, let's say if you had $200,000 in Federal Reserve notes saved up in a bank account, collecting interest or whatever you want to call it, you may not get all that back. You may get, $20,000 out of that, because they even tell you in a time of financial crisis, you're only liable up to 10% of the money. So if you had $1 million in the bank, or you had it collecting interest rates or, equity, whatever you want to call it, they're only liable to pay you up to $100,000 because the FDIC is only liable to pay 10% of lost revenue, But it says here, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. That's coming. That's the coming civil war. All right, when people are going to literally invade one another's homes for the one of all things. Because as we always say, it's a war between the have and the have-nots. It says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, meaning neighbor against neighbor, family, city against city, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. City versus city, suburb versus suburb, block versus block, street versus street, And, you brothers get the point. And it says, and the spirit of Egypt should fail in the midst thereof. And the spirit of Egypt is failing as we speak. Okay, you see the financial ruin. People are literally losing their minds. Crime is at an all-time high. Women are being targeted like crazy. I saw this post of this particular post out in Chicago. It's this one guy. He lives in his apartment building, and he's been known to terrorize women of color. And Esau ain't doing nothing about it. They've been trying to get him evicted for 7 months, and there ain't nothing they can do about it. So you got all these black women going to the media sites complaining about it, but nothing is being done about that. Show you that this place is breaking down, man. Esau knows, but he ain't nothing he can do. Because now the CBD Chicago Police Department response time, that shit's like 30 minutes out. So niggas are getting, look, they said it was 50 robberies in 4 days, man. in broad daylight on camera, and they still ain't catch these guys. So this is the type of lawlessness we're coming into, man. Society is breaking down, and it's to the point that you people out there starving our women first, hey, the ventures is failing, okay? And this is part of it. So y'all keep that proud attitude, that proud demeanor, that hateful spirit. Keep that same energy, like I always say. Keep that same energy, man. But it says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards," meaning they're gonna consult particular higher they're gonna search out left hand means to get some type of understanding as to what's happening from these government officials, because we know that these government officials, they operate highly on the left hand side, with the witchcraft, the sorceries. They're putting curses, or they're attempting to put curses on us. So we have to be just as much as fervent in prayer and putting curses on them, because this is what they're doing to us. You see what I'm saying? This is the third time I've been sick in like in a month and a half, man. I don't really get sick like that, but that shows me that we're building up immunity to something far greater. Because I remember before the C-19 kicked off, back in 2019, I was literally getting sick because I was working around a bunch of filthy people anyway. But I was literally getting sick like every freaking month, it seemed like. And when 2020 hit, I had got a couple of wisdom molars pulled, and then I came down with the C-19, but I was only sick for 2 days. And I kicked back pretty quick, But nonetheless, these viruses, these illnesses, these curses they're trying to put upon us, it's not going to stop the men of the Lord, And I could say, what it is I'm dealing. That was self-inflicted. I should have been more circumspect on drinking what I was drinking, probiotic milk. It had an expiration date of 2023, but I guess it was bitter as fuck. So my body didn't sit well with it. So I blame that was my fault, but hey, you live and learn. But regardless of that, having familiar spirits into the wizards, it says, "In the Egyptians I will give over into the hand of a cruel Lord," and we're seeing that. "And a fierce king shall rule over them, says the Lord of hosts," because in this coming shutdown, hey, you're going to need particular credentials in order to go from one province to the next. You want to get your money out the banks or whatever, you want to operate in CBDC, then you're going to have what they call a credit-based system that's going to be set up for a credit-based system based on your behaviors. Like in China, they have what they call a credit-based system. The more you comply with government officials and you're a law-abiding citizen, you have more privileges. The more you speak out against the government, the more you go against them and oppose them, they take away your privileges. You can't work, you lose your apartment, then before you know it, you're a derelict. Okay, and that's the time we're coming into in America, man. Everything is going to be monitored, and it's happening quick, man. It's real quick, It says, verse 14, it says, "The Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man that's staggering in his vomit." All right, it says, "Neither should there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail or branch or rush may do. And that day Egypt should be like unto women, and it should be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it," man. Okay, so prophecy. The vengeance is failing, man, and there's nothing the people can do about it, because why? They are blinded. They're asleep. They have their minds fixated on this holiday. Look, what Jake got going through their mind right now is New Year's Eve party. Or what New Year's Eve party I'm going to turn up to. What party I'm in. And, hey, it's going to be a lot of death that night. Because people, they're going to get drunk. They're going to reflect on the years they've had, the losses that they've took. And you go to a nigga nigga New Year's Eve party, you best believe somebody's going to get shot up. So you got to stay away from them places, man. You know what we going to do on the New Year's Eve show? Lord's will. We're going to do the sit down. We're going to drink and drink some more, and we're going to put up fucking curses on this place. Come when everybody's celebrating their New Year's, we're going to put up prayers to the Most High that he bring this fucking place down. You know what I'm saying? Because you Jakes, man, you don't get it. You don't want to leave here. This is your final destination, so to speak. But we want out of this joint. All right? Because we see that it's not good. We see that it's tainted and it's perverse. Okay, you even got other Israelites out there that's basically trying to stay here, man. Like nobody in Yahweh shot them sellouts, man. I don't even want to get on them dudes. This guy, man, I don't even want to get on them cats, man. I'll be all day with that. But anyway, this is the book of Ezekiel 7. And I'm going to start at verses 15. It says, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. And he that is in the field should die with the sword. And he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. Right? Because when you have economic instability, you have famine, you have pestilence. They're already burning down these particular factories and so forth, euthanizing particular goods, to keep you people from your livelihoods. And when things go to hell, then you're going to have famine, pestilence, more diseases. But they that escape of them should escape, and they should be on the mountains like doves of the valleys. All of the morning, every one for his iniquity. Iniquity is sin on top of sin. You're going to reflect on the wickedness you've done, and the Lord is going to judge you on it. It says, and all hands should be feeble, and all knees should be as weak as water. So also they shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror should cover them, and shame should be upon all faces, and baldness upon all heads, which represents a state of lamenting and mourning. It says, and they should cast their silver in the streets, and their gold should be removed, and their silver and their gold should not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh. And they should not satisfy their souls, neither will they fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of his iniquity, man. All right? So anyway, I'm in it there, brothers. All praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, that Shalom, and the Bible Ball.